This woman is walking when she sees a very suspicious man on the street. Because of her fear, she decides to turn around and walk away, but the man follows her anyway, also seeming to be interested in something in that woman. She hurriedly walks to try to get away from the man, but he continues to follow her. The woman hides behind a tree, but he can still see her. She tries to run away, but the man also runs after her, catching up to her, and she faints as soon as he catches her. A few minutes later, she wakes up on the floor, totally confused about what happened and where she is. But she gets scared as soon as she sees that man in front of her, asking him not to do anything to her. The man asks her to be calm, says that he was watching her, that she has been passing by there for days and only now he had the courage to talk to her. But the woman is still afraid of him, asking him not to do anything to her. She gives him her purse, saying he can take whatever he wants, but the man doesn't care about the purse, saying he just needs that woman. The woman starts screaming for help as soon as the man touches her, but he signals her to be quiet, covering her mouth immediately. She still manages to get away from him and starts running, but doesn't get very far when that man catches up with her again. The woman screams to be let go, but the man says she can't leave yet. He says he knows who she is, and she knows who he is too, but the woman tells him to let her go, and that she doesn't know who he is. Suddenly a man shows up to help the girl, and the homeless man starts running to hide behind a tree, worrying if the girl will leave. And he thinks that he deserves all this, and that now he has no other choice but to go back to his home. Meanwhile, another man is in the house watching from outside, when the woman approaches. He is happy to see his daughter there, but claims that he thought it was someone else. Then the father asks how his daughter is. Noticing that she is all dirty, he questions what happened to her. And she replies that it was nothing important. Besides, the only person she cares about is not her, and says she's going to get out of there because she's in a bad mood. The father tries to talk to her, but she leaves the room without looking back. Alone, the father talks to God, saying that only he knows how much pain he is feeling in his heart, and wonders if he will ever see his son again someday. After a while, the beggar builds up the courage to return to his home after a long time. Meanwhile, the father is there still waiting for his son, but has given up hope of meeting him again that day. But suddenly, he sees his son from afar, and cannot believe his eyes, realizing in the end that he is not mistaken and that this is indeed his son. He begins to thank God for finally being able to find his son again and have him back home. The son also ends up recognizing his father, who opens his arms to him. Then the son runs to hug his father, both totally moved by this reunion. The father begins to confess that he missed him a lot, and the son also says that he missed him. Only God knows how much that father had been waiting for his son to return, and after so long waiting, he had finally found him. The son feels ashamed, saying that he has failed his father, and that he is not worthy to be called his son. But his father does not want to hear this, saying that he has been waiting for him for many months. So the son kneels before his father and begs his father's forgiveness, saying that he has done a lot of harm to his own father, and needs him to forgive him. So he confesses to his father that he has done many bad things. Every day he walked the streets without knowing what to do. People were frightened to see him on the street. He only ate leftovers in the garbage. He didn't have any friends. So the son says that he is there to ask his father for a job, but the father says that he is at home, and totally happy, he calls the son to come into the house. The father can't stop smiling, saying how nice it is to have his son in the house. He calls for the butler immediately, telling him to take his son into the bedroom, so that he can get ready and take a bath, because he's going to make a big feast for his son. But the boy is ashamed, thinking that he doesn't deserve any of this after all he has done. He had asked his father for his inheritance much too early, went away and spent all his money on unnecessary things, spending it on his friends. In the end, his friends were only with him for the money. But one day he ended up with nothing. He started walking the streets, eating food from the garbage, saw his sister for several days, but didn't recognize her, so he started begging for food so he could have a decent meal, until he built up the courage to go back home. He tells his father that he is the worst son in the world, and his sister overhears the conversation, and when she goes upstairs, she sees her brother standing in front of her. She is very happy that he is back, but she also remembers the episode they had earlier, and then gets totally worried about her brother's appearance, and he says that he was just explaining everything to his father, and says that he spent everything and ended up living on the street. But the father claims that the important thing is that everything has changed, and his son is home again. He doesn't want to talk about his son's past anymore, and tells him to get changed. His sister says that he doesn't have to feel bad, saying that he is unrecognizable, and she tells the butler to accompany her brother. So the lost son goes with the butler to take a bath and change. Even the butler is happy that he's back. Inside that house is just happiness. The father can't stop smiling, together with his daughter. As this father received his repentant son, so is the pleasure that God feels when we go to him. God waits for us with open arms, forgives us, restores us as his children, and guides our lives with his love.